Larry Sinclair of Cantina, Laredo is here with our yummy Mexican recipe today. First of all, Larry, welcome to Midday.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Glad to have you here. And by the way, I have tasted your all's food down in Sandestin. I said, you guys have a chain down there.
Absolutely.
And you do. So, but you guys are in technically kind of what, the Gulch area? Or
yes,
what's
we are.
That called exactly?
It's down in the Gulch, right off of 12th Avenue South. We're at the foot of the Icon building. Most people know it from being across from Sambuca and Roussan's, who kind of have a few years on us, but they've been very friendly and helping us move into the area.
Very yummy. They even have a warm salsa. You have so many different varieties you bring to the table. It's delicious. I know, when I saw you were coming, I'm excited. So let's talk about what we're making today and really what all does this consist of? We have a lot of ingredients here.
Well, today we're going to make a classic ceviche, and it's a perfect summertime food because you don't have any cooking. You're not going to have to heat your kitchen up. You can prepare it the day before, have it ready when guests get there the next day.
Yeah. Nice
very simple. Like you were saying, we have some tilapia to work with today.
Okay, let's just kind of show everything first. So we have, and how much of this are we going to need?
This is, I've actually doubled the recipe we have on the screen, so we're going to use 7 ounces of a diced tilapia.
Okay. Now we also have, scallops,
We have bay scallops and our shrimp. Now the shrimp we've gone ahead and pre-cooked just till it's just finished because we want to have a nice texture to it. It's going to be a nice complement to the tilapia and the scallops. The richness is going to offset the sweetness of the scallops and the seaness of the tilapia.
Gotcha. Now, key too, with our juices, we're doing lime today.
Just fresh lime, and that's what's actually going to cure our fish. We're not going to do any cooking overnight. It's going to marinate for 12 hours, and the acid will actually cook the texture of the fish through. So
this is ideal, as you mentioned, to do the day before. Obviously, a little bit of salt. Okay, let's run through. What are all these other ingredients?
The other ingredients are for a vegetable mix that helps complement everything in the whole dish.
In your dish, okay.
We have a little bit of salad oil that's going to bring it all together. A little dried Mexican oregano.
Okay.
Some capers, which is a small fruit from a plant in the Mediterranean.
And how many of the capers? What is that?
The capers, that's going to be 1.5 tablespoons right there. 2 ounces of a julienne red bell pepper.
Okay.
2 whole seeded and cleaned canned jalapenos.
I was going to say, there comes the heat, huh?
Exactly. 2 ounces of a diced red onion.
Okay.
I have a tablespoon and a half of sliced olives.
Okay.
I have 2 ounces of diced and seeded tomatoes. And then a tablespoon and a half of fresh chopped cilantro.
Gotta have that cilantro, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, and I notice over here you've got more fresh lime, and then looks like an avocado.
It's a perfect garnish.
Okay, so what are we going to do first? You've already added...
I've got the fish.
Okay.
And what we're going to do first is we'll put all the fish together.
Okay, all the seafood?
Yep, with the juice and the salt.
Okay, everything's going in. All right, so we've got our shrimp and that. And then we'll just kind of tilt this up a little bit so they can kind of see a little bit. So I'm going to jump. And again, how much lime juice? Fresh?
This is actually the juice of 3 whole limes. You're going to come right about 6 ounces of juice.
Okay.
Just enough to cover everything.
And then how much salt?
The salt is barely going to be a teaspoon. You want to just be a natural dessicant and bring some of those fish flavors into the lime juice so it spreads evenly.
So I'm going to add all this, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
I'm just going to take that. And that's what's great, too, about this, because it is so light, summery. It's really good. You mentioned no heat in the kitchen. We're liking that. But that really needs to sit for how long?
This will go in our refrigerator, and this will sit for at least 12 hours. That'll cook everything through.
A day ahead of time, ideally. Okay, now, what do we need to do next?
So what we would do the next day is naturally we would take this out, drain it, and what we would come out with when it was finished...
With the magic of TV.
With the magic of television, is our cooked product. You can see the color change that took place in the tilapia and the scallops.
Right.
That it's actually cooked through just from the acid of the lime juice.
No longer white.
Nope.
Right.
You drain that completely, and what we add is we're truly happy to have a product like Cholula. It's a great pepper sauce. It's not too vinegary. It's very rich, has a great pepper flavor.
Okay.
We finish it with just 3 tablespoons of the Cholula and another pinch of kosher salt, again, just to kind of bring everything together.
Okay.
All of our vegetables would be mixed in with it at that point, and you'd come out with our finished product.
Okay, so let's kind of talk them through this. So here's what we did. So then you take this, and then you've added your 3 tablespoons or teaspoons. Which did you say? How much of this? Table? Okay. So you're going to put it... Here we go.
And it's a lot.
Cranking it up.
Don't be afraid. It's not going to be spicy.
Okay, not going to be too much.
And just a pinch of salt to put it together.
What is that salt doing? It's just...
Again, it's pulling everything together. That fresh fish flavor that we have in there is bringing it all together. You don't quite taste all fish. You don't quite taste all sauce. It brings it together very well. And with everything else we've got going on, you have your texture pieces, a little bit of salt, a little bit of richness, a little bit of crunch from your onions and your peppers, and they just all meld together very well. You serve everything with a nice chip, and it just ends up being a wonderful accompaniment with everything.
Because you're going to take that, and then in the bowl, that's when you would start adding everything else together. So your olives, of course, your tomatoes, the cilantro, your onions, jalapenos, our peppers, capers. What was the seasoning again?
The dried Mexican oregano.
Okay, the oregano. And then a little bit of our salad oil. So then we just toss that. Ideally, does that need to go back into the fridge for a certain amount of time? Is it best to be chilled?
Both things chilled together. We could actually take the vegetables, the same thing. If you're having a party the next day, you can put the vegetables together separately, let them marinate and get all those flavors together again.
Right.
But the next day, you'd put both together right out of the refrigerator, nice and cool, serve it to your guests.
And then you've topped it off. So this is just a fancy way of what you've done. So you kind of made a little bed of lettuce, right? Then you added your little Tostitos, or what do you call that?
It's a tostada chip made from a corn tortilla.
Nice and fancy. And then what are we doing with the avocado here?
I love the avocado for a garnish because the richness of the avocado just goes very well with the fresh fish, the fresh vegetables, the crispness, and everything works together.
Okay, now what did you do? How did you do that? So you made 3 little slices.
I basically took my avocado.
Okay, so watch this little trick here. So you take that.
As we're going to cut our avocado open, the easiest thing is just to go the whole way around very carefully.
Okay, so all the way around the seed. All right.
And you can pull your avocado open. And then if you were working at home and you had to use the whole avocado, you can just very quickly get your knife into your seed, and your seed comes right out.
Okay.
From there,
I'm going to take that off, and we're going to get the skin off. So you're going to kind of do it at a slant.
I would cut about 1/4 of the avocado off.
Okay. Peel the outer edge off. And then I think I saw you make, what did you do, 3 little slices?
And then very easily, you can make 2 smaller slices.
2 smaller slices. Okay, and then you just kind of fanned it out. Look at you. Now we know how to do things fancy. We certainly appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you, Holly.
We're going to do our taste test coming up at the end of the show, so stick around for that. Cantina Laredo is located at 592 12th Avenue South. Give them a call, 259-9282. And for today's recipe and a link to their website, just log on to the More at Midday section of WSNV.com. So easy, and I know it's going to be tasty.